Department of Conservation, why we care about invasive species. And again, I wear a coordinator hat for our department. And so a lot of what I'm going to talk about is partnerships, and partnerships with private citizens, partnerships with private businesses, and partnerships with the different folks that you see here today. But why does the Department of Conservation care about invasive species? Well, because one of our important parts of our mission is to protect the biodiversity of our state of Missouri, as well as the natural communities that depend, support the biodiversity of our state. And so obviously we want to retain that in the future, as Roxy said, for future generations. And we want those species that are dependent upon us to persist in the future. And it's not just the Department of Conservation, that's the beauty of it. It's everyone here, and it's everyone that owns property out there, and everyone that cares about these species and the biodiversity of the state. And in order to do that, it's quickly being realized that with invasive species being a primary threat, that we cannot do this alone. So as you've heard from all these partners, the reason that the Missouri Invasive Plant Task Force was formed is because of the realization that organizations, conservation community cannot do this work alone. And so we're starting to realize over the past 5-10 years that really we need to do more partnering with one another, everybody getting on the same page and working as a cohesive unit to actually move the needle on these invasions like you see here. And a big part of that is going to be private industry, private citizens taking their part, stepping up, realizing that again, we're putting out a plea for help. And so with the Department of Conservation, we are, as Carol mentioned, part of the Missouri Invasive Plant Task Force. We are also, there's other invasives that we're concerned with. We are part of the Missouri Feral Hog Partnership to eradicate feral hogs from Missouri. We are part of the Missouri Invasive Forest Pest Council. That's probably one you haven't heard much about. So the Missouri Invasive Forest Pest Council is concerned about forest pests such as emerald ash borer, gypsy moth, thousand cankers disease. And so it's not just these insect species, these plant species, the feral hogs, it's also diseases and funguses that are moving our way too. So there's this plethora of invasion moving toward us, and that's why it's important that we all work together if we're going to accomplish things into the future. And so that's kind of my plea today is, the Department of Conservation, we are working on trying to come up with a new way to reach our citizenry in the state and those partners out there. And part of that may be, you may start hearing the slogan, halt the invasion, join the fight. And there's two parts of that. We need your help to stop the invasion, such as you see here. And we also need everyone to stand up with their pitchforks, their fire tools, whatever it might be, to help join this fight that we're all up against. It's not just, like I said, it's not just one person, it's not just one organization, it's all of us working together. And that's kind of my plea to you today, is to step up and join the fight with us. That's what this is all about today. So with that, I'm going to introduce our next speaker, who's Reed. Reed's going to talk to you for a little while here about calorie Pear. He's got some great examples here to show you. And then after that, we'll have Brett O'Brien with the City of Columbia come up. And Reed, will you introduce Brett at that time?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Give Reed a round of applause. Thank you.